Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings.
On this fateful, drizzly, rainy day, I am reviewing the 2016 BMW X3, and this is equipped with the 2-liter diesel engine. Now, the model we have, the trim we have is actually the X-Line, and the X-Line is my idea of the perfect trim for BMW X3 for Uganda. Why? Because the suspension is tuned in a way that it is quite comfortable and soft for our roads, and the tires are a little bit thicker to give it a more comfortable kind of experience when you're driving. So now, of course, BMW never disappoints with angry angles, and I'm just imagining if somebody knocks you here and this goes in, it could be quite something to pan a bit, but well, you might as well just buy another door. Some of the cool features you're going to find with the BMW X3, of course, you're going to find them in other cars as well. For example, power boot door, which you can actually close from behind, or you might as well just hold a button right here in the driver's door and close the door. This is one of those cars that you would buy probably if you are looking for a family vehicle that can move 3 children or 4 children, if your partner isn't in the car, and you want to move them comfortably in a way that is elegant. Yeah. If you're new here, subscribe and turn on the notification bell for so you don't miss any other videos that will come. If you have the key in your pocket, all you have to do is just place your hand here and the car will lock, and of course if you also put your hand here, the car will definitely unlock, and when it unlocks, you'll be welcomed with some kind of, well, you might as well say there daytime running lights. I'll be honest, it's not until you get out of this car that you realize it's actually a diesel. Once you're in the car, it just feels the same as a petrol equivalent. Of course, unless you're really picky and you want to really hear the sound, but it's just perfect. And this, according to me, is like the perfect trim for Uganda. As long as you can get the X-Line trim with these 18-inch rims, I think you're up for something really amazing, because it has an amazing way of just sucking up the potholes, the bumps, and you barely feel them. Now, an ideal road user in Kampala or Uganda would probably need a vehicle that is fairly raised with at least 18 centimeters of ground clearance, a vehicle that is comfortable, a vehicle that's easy to park, soft, fuel efficient, a vehicle that is fairly manageable to maintain, and something that is very safe. Say if somebody knocks you, or if you run into some kind of overspeeding, or you find yourself in a collision kind of circumstance, you need a car that will sort you in all those areas. And this car is ticking all those boxes. So right now I'm doing 23 kilometers to the liter, just the way I'm driving. But averagely, this engine will do 18.6 kilometers to the liter in ideal conditions. If you combine, it will do 18.6 kilometers per liter, which it actually delivers on. And I know for sure that this is definitely a better fuel economy than quite a number of hybrids. I'll be honest with you, the previous generation of BMW X3s wasn't appealing to me at all. It wasn't beautiful at all. But this F25 facelift is actually fantastic. It looks great, it's comfortable, and it just does everything right. I sort of now understand why in certain countries, when people are looking for BMWs, especially people who have families, small families, you find that most of them, if not all of them, just desire to drive the X3. Not the X5, but the X3. Now, this car has the ability to kind of drive itself, because it's got lane keep assist, it's got radar guided cruise control, and so if I'm in traffic jam, I could just set the cruise control and set a given speed, and the car can brake on its own, it can accelerate on its own, and it will, even if I've set it to a speed higher than the traffic, it will actually maintain the speed of the car that is in front of it. And of course, I can also set the distance that I want between this car and the car in front. So if you're the kind that likes to, I mean, don't do it, but if you're the kind that likes to drive and you want to drive while texting, and you're such a busy person and you desire that kind of life, this car can actually do that very well for you. You probably will get all these warnings, bings and bongs, just to remind you that, hey, you're on the street, but I'm actually doing the braking and driving for you. I think that's a really cool. When you're paying all the money that you pay for this car, I mean, this car is over $22,000, including taxes. I mean, you really want to get a car that is going to do everything, at least to make you feel like, your money did something, right? This car has got auto start stop technology, so during traffic, it can just cut off the engine, and once you release the brake, it just keeps going and it keeps moving. And so it's a very good technology, which I feel every car must have. I mean, from about 2011 or so, most vehicles had that technology. So it's not a surprise that you'll find it in this car. And it's people say BMW kind of doesn't do it so well, but as of now, I'm not complaining. So let me just take you around the tech in this car, because it's a lot. This is called the iDrive system, which you use to control this system right here. So we have blind spot monitoring systems. We've got auto locking doors. Once you start driving, the doors just lock themselves. You can change those settings as and when you desire. It's got, of course, you can call it the vanity mirror, and once you open it, okay, that's somebody passing by. Once you open it, of course, it will light up. And even if you forget to close this thing, let's say it's open, the light will still go off when you close this, which is, I think, it's well thought out. And that's just the reason why you find some people buy German vehicles, because you find that there's a little bit more attention to detail when it comes to precision of the different features that the car needs to have to work. We've got hill descent control. We've got cameras all round, so it allows the car to use some AI anyway, and give you like a bird's view of what the car is like when you're parking. And even at night when you're parking, it's got a very bright reversing lights, and also sensors all over the place. So you find that when you're parking it's beeping and it's showing you, now it's orange, yellow, red, just to make sure you don't scratch this car. If you scratch this car, you don't deserve it. Being a car from Japan, yeah, its radio stops at 90, but I'm sure with an update, it can be changed. Software update, it can be changed. And that's the beauty of these iDrive systems for BMW. You can actually update it and be able to have access to more features. Some of these cars had the Harman Kardon sound system. However, I haven't seen those in Japan with this model. But I guess if you do a little searching, you might be able to find something with that. Yeah, the car has also got an SOS button here, just to call the police or emergency services if you crash. Now, under the hood here, we've got a 2-liter twin power turbocharged diesel engine. Now, just to be clear, twin power does not necessarily mean it's a twin turbo. There's a difference between twin turbo and twin power. Twin turbo means, of course, there are 2 turbochargers, but this has got 1 turbo It's just that it's got two downpipes, right? This car puts out 181 horsepower, which is really, in my opinion, fantastic enough for our roads in Uganda. And it pulls, boy, it pulls, and it just keeps pulling. It just feels faster than 181 horsepower. It's got also 400 newton meters of torque, which is great enough for pulling maybe another car which has probably died on the way, if you ever find yourself in such a circumstance. As much as they say petrol engines are cleaner, this engine has proven to be more reliable than the petrol engines. And so if you're buying this engine for Uganda, you're buying this car, I would recommend you consider the diesel. I mean, it's even more fuel efficient. You would just have to make sure that you service the car in time. Service it in time, give it the necessary maintenance, whether it comes to glow plugs or injectors or the oil, that you have to use very high quality oil, have to use very high quality diesel, and just make sure that you don't falter, you don't fail in the maintenance journey, because that's where most people fail. I think it's one of the most ideal vehicles that you will drive in Uganda. You heard that was the automatic locking doors. Of course, the spare parts is where you might need a bit more cash, because the parts of these cars are available. However, they will be about the same price or slightly more than the Benz parts. But you just need to get a good supplier for those parts, and this car will do you good. Service it in time. Get one from a good supplier. You need a good car from the beginning, because that's where most people will go wrong. Most people go wrong at that point where they're buying the car. So, I mean, if you can actually get a good source, Africars Ug, we also shipping cars. So you will definitely be assured of a very good quality car from the beginning, because when you're getting a European car, you want to get one that is good from the beginning, because even in the country that it's coming from, it's probably gone through some kind of maintenance, with somebody else. So if you want to have a good one, you need to make sure that you get it from the right source. The BMW X3 is getting popular in East Africa, just also because its price has sort of dropped slightly in Japan. But I would really recommend that you buy the 2016 model and above, because they did a lot of improvements on the engine. Like now, this is the N47T, which means that there were some issues with the timing chain for the earlier models, that is 2011, 9, 10, 11, 12. Those issues were sorted out in, I think, about 2014 or so, and so it's better. Yeah, so you want to get one that actually has had that recall and everything works well. What's it like when it's pulling? Wow, I mean, this is 20 and I'm stepping on it. Ooh. There we go, that's 70. And that's barely, I didn't put the pedal to the metal, and if I did, it probably would do better. Okay, so let's try it again. We're at 30 and I put it down gradually, and that's 70. Yeah, it's pretty punchy. It gives when you need it to give, and it will definitely deliver whenever you want it to deliver. And I mean, if it's overtaking, say on the highway, if it's trying to get to where you need to get to a little bit snappy, the car will do its job. Yeah. And driving this, that makes me not really miss driving the bigger engines, that 3-liter diesel, because this gives you both, the best of both worlds, fuel economy and also power. So you kind of benefit both. The X-Drive is great. The car is sort of biased to the rear than to the front, and then it can also send up to 100% of its power to the back, depending on the settings that you give, because it has Sport Mode, Eco Pro. It also has hill descent control. It has so much, guys. I'm loving this. I'm loving this car. This is a car I would buy easily without thinking maybe 3 times. I would easily buy this, and I would buy it for my wife too. So you can easily do miles and miles and miles with this car without much, fatigue. And that's also thanks to the seats, because the seats are they're really comfortable. And on a day like this that's a little coldish, you could easily just turn on the heat seat, the seat warming feature, and yeah, it will warm the seats for you. BMW has really thought through a lot of things. This is the F25. It was manufactured from 2011, this F25, until 2018. However, this facelift started in 2015. So you can only find this facelifted version, which sort of looks like the X5. You'll find it in 2015 until 2018. So from 2019, we find the G01, which of course some of them have this engine, the 2-liter, and then there's a petrol, and then the newer models also have some of them the hybrid technology, and recently there was one that's fully electric, I think in 2022 or 2023. Oh yeah, this BMW on my right is actually a 3-liter diesel, but I think this is better. It's more fuel economical, but that has power. Man, that car can go. But if that's not what you're looking for, you just want something to move your family around powerfully, efficiently, and comfortably, and at the end of the day, safely. Look no further. If you're buying an X3 and you're thinking about resale value, I think you're mistaken, and I think you need to change have a look at your priorities and see what you really desire, because these are not cars you buy because of resale value. You buy it because you love it, buy it because you want it, and because of what it can do, and not because of the fact that it will keep your money maybe for a certain period of years. Well, guys, at the moment we have about 2,000 subscribers, and it would mean so much to me if you subscribed. Guys, thanks for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and just leave something in the comments below if we missed any information. And yeah, let's chat. Share this video with a friend, somebody who wants to buy this BMW X3. Be sure to follow Africars Ug on Instagram, Facebook, and X.